Hey, I'm Jeremy with PushLeads, and in this little video, I'm showing you a website that we built with AI, with a tool that we created called PushBrowse. And what the tool does is it scans the website and actually uses AI to publish and create everything on Elementor, which is in WordPress. And so we can't really do our magic on another site unless it's Elementor, like a WordPress site, or it's Shopify. I have one of my clients who said that someone came to them and they wanted to remake their whole site in HTML. And I'm like, okay, if you don't want to show up in Google or don't care about any kind of ongoing SEO magic, then go for it. So the really cool thing is building sites are now just a conversation and also usage versus doing it manually. And no issues with doing stuff manually. Obviously, you need to know what you're doing to build a site. And what I want to do here is to show you real quickly kind of what's happening. So basically, what I'm doing right now to use PB is we have to be in PushRank, which is the tool that we use to navigate and control everything. You have to be in Claude and PushRank. And then what you do here is you just open up and you say, client name, use PB, which stands for PushBrowse, to fix these things. Create space before that, do this or do that, and then it will go through and do that. And then I was looking at a version of the site. I asked it to make a remodels page in the same look and feel, and the same language and testimonials and the remodeling projects. And so it's kind of super important that you check and see what you're doing here by looking at, let me just look at, so I'm looking at the actual page it created here because I have different browsers open. I'm looking at this page within a guest browser. It's always a good idea to do that. Always a good idea to actually copy the right URL. It's just /remodels. And the site is a little slow here. And the reason why is that I don't have the caching plug turned on, but I'm going to be turning that on. So this is the remodels page. I made this page in about 10 minutes. And essentially I made the page and I then had a conversation with it and said, hey, redo this or that. It did the call to action. It created the before and after, or moved that from the home page. It has some copy here that's really all about remodeling services. This is kind of a duplicate of the homepage, but with reworked and call to action at the bottom. So it made this whole page pretty nice, huh? And we can easily just modify it by telling it to do more things. So I came back and said center the menu. The menu wasn't centered on the page. I said move entire sections around, delete this section, and show more recent remodeling transformations. So it made those changes. And then I was running out of usage in that account. So what I did here was in this account, I just said I want to remove the blog. So the sidebar had a blog in it. I said remove the blog. I said scan the source site and make a list of pages that sync. Make sure that all the projects that they have on their site are actually showing on our site. Then I told them to change the sidebar, or told Claude to change the sidebar. I'm referencing images here and use a different image in our process. And so look how fast it's doing this. It took about maybe 10 minutes to make these changes. When I first started doing this, it took about an hour to do like a small little change. And then it said, hey, the blog sidebar is done. Residential products are done. The side panel is done. And then, so I looked at the side panel and I was like, well, what's happening with the side panel? So this is what I mean, the side panel here. It added these icons here, but these icons don't really look that well. So I'm really just going to go back and show you what I'm going to do here. We're going to do one last one together. So I'm going to say, it's saying here, I want to drop the chamber logo. So drop chamber logo, make icons larger. So I basically just said drop the chamber logo, make the icons larger, show 2 rows of 3 icons each, go. And we can do this with Opus. That's the really cool thing. You don't need Fable. Now, Fable is great for like looking at the whole site. But if we're just talking about doing actual changes, Opus 5 will do this. Don't try to do this with Sonnet, but Opus 5 does consume more usage than Sonnet, but it does a pretty good job. Fable will just kind of burn your token usage. It's good for building like entire things, but if we're just like moving things around, then we don't really need all the things. So the other thing is just so you understand how this sort of system works. I have so many windows open, but basically what PB is it's a headless browser. So let me just stop here and go back. So right now I'm in Flywheel. I'm about to go live on the site, but I'm in Flywheel, and this is my web hosting, and what I'm basically doing here is I am going to show you when you're developing, you need to have the site on development mode. Because if you don't have it on development mode, then it's in caching, and Claude or PB can't see changes as you're doing it. You also need to have, when you set up a new site, you need to have SSH connected. So it's essentially a headless browser that connects and crawls to the site. So it's a headless browser. It also connects to the REST API, and then it also connects directly through SSH. So it does any one of those three things as needed. But the most important thing is when you're having it edit a site is turn off the caching, turn on development mode. And I just disable the plugin altogether, the W3, sorry, not W3. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place today. The WP Rock is the caching plugin we use. So let's see if it finished the work. So it's verifying the screenshot, it's running commands, it will architect it and do it, and then it should be done. Okay, so it's done. And it finished here. This took about maybe 5 minutes. You can be doing other things while it's doing its thing. And then let's take a look at the live site. And here's that remodels page we made. Look at that. Looking beautiful there. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. There's their info. There's the email. Look at this. It even added the mail to link. There's the phone number link. That looks super nice and clean. So we could now design websites just by having a conversation. So essentially what I did with this whole site is I had a contractor starting to build it. I really wasn't happy with the contractor's work. So we had Claude take over the rest of this project and build the entire thing. In the future, what I'll do is have Claude test Claude or PB to build an entire website from scratch on WordPress. That'll be pretty awesome. I assume it'll take a ton of usage, but that'll be the next step. But we can now edit websites and have our browser log in and do things, investigate things, fix things without having to log in manually. So pretty awesome. All right, I'm Jeremy Ashburn with PushLeads. Thanks.